Hello and welcome to Feed the Machine. I'm your host, motherfucking Gino. Glad to be talking to you, at you, with you, towards you. The hipster revolution will not be televised, but it also will be. There's a phrase that they used to say, the revolution will not be televised. And sort of like, yeah, it will be, if there ever is one. But also, I get the statement because, okay, let me start back where I'm coming from. I'm watching one battle after another. I was not prepared for how good a movie it is. I mean, people told me, but like, I feel like people are like kind of easily sold on some crap. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like John Wick at all. But everybody except for like 3 people I know love John Wick, and then like all 8 billion people in the world except for those 3 people all love John. I don't like John Wick at all. Everyone says, it's great, dude. It's as good as the last one. He's still got it. It's just lots of guns and like more guns and like a shit ton of gun. And like, if that's your thing, cool. It's not my thing. One battle after another is about leftist revolutionaries. And then of course there's a plot, right? It starts out that way, and then it kind of really gets into some like intricacies about like the racist state and all this stuff. And then in my conspiracy brain, okay, I'm not a fucking Sigma, don't tune away just yet, all right? In my conspiracy brain, and I say conspiracy brain because like, you learn, it doesn't help to learn about stuff. I don't know how else to say it, because it just makes you angry. Like, quick segue. I remember in college, when I took a statistics class, I quickly got so angry because what statistics teaches you, the class, what it teaches you is that most, I don't want to say politicians, but political think tanks, most industries, most manufacturers know how to do things right, but they choose not to. I should say, and they choose not to. And that's just like learning stuff it just makes you more angry because you're just like, oh, all this, it's not an accident that things suck. It's kind of just like the design of it, you know, like planned obsolescence. Like cars used to last a long ass time, and Hondas still are pretty decent, but you know what I mean? So on and so forth. One battle after another. Okay, so a while back, I don't know if you remember a guy in politics. I don't even really remember what his capacity was. Steve Mnuchin, right? But he was pretty much a villain. He was a really, really rich guy. He looked awkward as fuck. He just looked like a super awkward guy that like chokes hookers in his spare time or something like that, you know? And then it kind of came to surface that he's involved in movie production. And then I started seeing his name in like some of my favorite movies. And it's like my favorite movies that are kind of like lefty. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure precisely, but like movies like, at least like Tropic Thunder or like Pineapple Express, you know, like these really cool blockbuster, like make you feel good and like fight against the machine type of, not that Tropic Thunder is that, but you know what I mean? If I put more effort into this podcast, I would have researched the movies that he's involved with and said those. But there's some great movies. And right away I'm like, okay, so is he just in it for the money? Or is he like forwarding some weird agenda? Like weird fucking... Because he's a conservative figure, and these movies are very like left positive a little bit. Like there's some Seth Rogen movies, you know? And Seth Rogen's like a big stoner, big like... I don't know because he's never said, but you feel like if you asked him, he'd be like a democratic socialist. And then you're like, Steve Mnuchin was like a hard Republican. And then you're like, oh, is this some like weird subliminal shit that they're just like... And then you realize that all TV is state TV, and it's just like pushing your ideas this way or that, especially when you start to try to make content and you realize that these little things that you can say can just like get you demonetized or deplatformed or whatever. If you've done content, then you know, like Philip DeFranco will just kind of talk about some regular shit, and then he'll kind of randomly get demonetized because there's just something in there that he's not supposed to talk about, and it's stuff that you wouldn't guess, you know? For instance, for me, just to get specific so I don't meander around these like general non-specifics, specifically for me, when I'm on TikTok, right? The algorithm doesn't love me, you know, but it'll shoot me out sometimes. But when I talk about like the left and the right side of politics at the same time as somehow being similar or equivalent or having a similar hand in just like bad stuff or whatever, you know what I mean? I will get muted. I'll get like 1 or 2 plays. Like the algorithm will not fuck with that shit, you know? And then you're like, okay, you're not supposed to talk about, that's a very specific thing that you can't mention. You have to either go hard right or hard left so that people have something to argue about. And that's really important that people are arguing on the internet. For the algorithm, it's very important that people are kind of like going at each other on the internet. And then, of course, there's the whole dead internet theory. Like, a lot of them are bots anyways. So don't fucking even try to engage them because you're just getting aggravated for no reason. You're talking to a fucking robot. You know, I try to remember that stuff. But I still troll my own comment. I still troll my own comment section. So fuck it, you know? One battle after another. So I'm watching one battle after another. And and it's hard for me to watch it like regular because I was watching it while high too. So that makes you see a little bit meta. You know what I mean? Like stuff behind stuff. Like, you see the movie, but you also think, like, you start thinking, like, what's behind the writing, what's behind the acting, what's the agenda behind the movie, right? Because it's a very politically charged movie. And I say we live in a very politically charged time, but it's only gotten more politically charged. It's like the sky's the limit on the political chargedness. Looking at it, it just constantly feels dangerous, and I guess it's meant to feel that way. But I'm just like, yeah, it's hard to, I'm enjoying the movie, and at the same time, I'm not enjoying, like, how many ways that this is furthering some kind of political agenda that is people being at each other's throats. And that is, like, for the left, making them feel empowered and seen and validated, and for the right, making them angry, making them feel like, oh, these people are fucking stupid, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, you can't overthink shit because just try to fucking enjoy it. Just try to enjoy your own life. It's been and I plan to talk about myself in like a minute, but I'm talking about, I hate that I talk about political stuff so much on like here and TikTok because I don't ever feel like I'm moving the needle, and I don't think that somebody will or can, you know what I mean? It's like Bob Dylan said, nobody ever affected change with a song. Even though he did get the hurricane out of prison. Look it up, it's a thing. But I hate that I talk about politics so much. I just get like an idea in my head, and you just like want to make some content, and then you feel like there's a thing that sort of hasn't been said about this thing just yet. It's my like original take, but it is something that everyone has talked about, and it is something it's like a generic thing to talk about, you know? You know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of like, okay, let's go back to a time none of us like to think about at all. The quarantine. Okay, I don't even like to think about it. But at the same time, they decided to bring to surface these murder hornets. Hornets. But the extra ingredient is murder. It is the stupidest thing in the fucking world. Murder like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, shut the actual fuck up. Like, and people were like scared, but these things were in Washington in a very localized area, and it's just like, I don't know. Like, they just, like, need you to feel scared and shitty. And so, like, the more recent version of that, which was an actual danger, is this, the outbreak, the cyclospora or something like that. If that's not it, it's very close. This, this parasite that was causing dysentery in people, and it was linked to Taco Bell lettuce. And it really felt like targeted marketing, like the murder hornets, you know, because you're just like, oh, Taco Bell gave you diarrhea, big fucking surprise, you know. but like, you're like, Taco Bell didn't grow that fucking lettuce. Like, what the fuck like, is this lettuce just for Taco Bell? Like, they're like, it's in the produce. They're like, okay, produce is a big, wide net. Which produce should we be worried about? Is this like an E. coli thing? Is it like vegetables that kind of grow in the dirt? Or is it like, what, can we get more information? And at first they're like, it's the raspberries. And you're like, I never seen a raspberry at Taco Bell in my whole fucking life. Not ever. I don't even think they have raspberry flavored stuff. Which, by the way, insert a joke about Baja Blast. We'll blast your Baja. Okay, that's it. They blast your Baja in other regions. They blast your Baja region. Anyway, it's just stupid, right? Because there's a real concern about toxic produce and lettuce, and like, okay, where is this distributor coming from? To whom do they distribute? It can't just be Taco Bell. Or is it, if it's an exclusive Taco Bell distributor, then like mention that. But it's just kind of these lofty things, and they just try to like make you feel angry, make you feel concerned without actually addressing any concerns. It's very scientific the way they do it. It's this fucking scientific chaos. And it's hard not to watch this fantastic movie, one battle after another, without thinking of all that. Anyway, it doesn't really help. I will mention one last political thing. Because we had all those pipe breakings, whatever, water main breakings in LA. It's like the city's like actually crumbling. And other cities, similar stuff is happening. It's just like the cities need to be fixed. The funds are getting misappropriated. City council members are just like pocketing money, and so are the people with a less public persona who have just a lot of money, like notably the DWP, the Department of Water Power. Watch Chinatown. That's pretty much how everything works. It's insane and actually evil. But there's Kenneth Mejia. He's kind of a light. He's kind of a light in the city government, and he audits. And I will say again, I've said for a long time that like cities need to be audited quarterly so that we see where money is going, and so we actually have transparency. And people say that's never going to fucking happen. And then Kenneth Mejia came along, we're like, oh, it's fucking happening. I hope he's a good guy. I hope he has a good agenda. I hope he doesn't get corrupted, because we're just so used to getting fucked that it's hard to think that someone actually just might want to do their fucking job. Someone might just want to live in LA and like have people not talk shit on it. Or at least like when they talk shit on it, not have like a very valid point. Anyway, there's a city council member who says she will, because they're kind of like trying to silence him a little bit, or they're just kind of like trying to take away his budget so he can't audit as many things, because it's a big ass city. It's a big ass city with a big ass budget. So much money goes through it. I remember when they were like the Doge thing, and they're just like, we saved $200 million. I'm like, that's cute. $200 million. That's fucking adorable. 200 million. Try a couple billion. That's the police budget alone for Los Angeles. Okay, they were never defunded. Whatever. So Councilman Rama says she wants to be mayor, and that she will unleash Kenneth Mejia's city controller office. And that they can do their job. And you just hope that it's true. Just the idea that somebody could give a fuck. I mean, it almost makes you want to fucking cry. It makes you want to cry, not me. All right? I'm not no fucking pussy. Anyway, I'm going to talk about some more fun stuff. I'm kind of like been sick. That's fun. Being sick? No. I've kind of been sick this last week. I started feeling it coming on like last, Monday night, Tuesday. And I was like, you feel the scratch in your throat. And for me, the scratch in the throat is like foreboding. I'm like, okay, this is going to be like a bronchial thing. Like, I understand the drill, and it's just like, how bad is it going to be, or will it let me off easy? And it's sort of both, right? Because like, I felt like shit that Thursday. And then Friday, I got to work. Like, right, you feel like shit on Thursday. Friday, you're not fine, I'm better on Friday than I'm on Thursday. But I have to work. So I'm like, okay, well, I could have been recovering on Friday, but I had to work. And then Saturday, Sunday, I'm working 2 jobs, so essentially double shifts. Coming home at 3 a.m, going to sleep at 5 a.m, kind of getting up, doing it again. So I don't really get my recovery time till Monday. Monday, I just feel fucking beaten because I got the work and I got the sickness. So, and I had to take, I didn't do my hosting gig, which I enjoy doing, even though it's kind of like a stupid whatever gig. But I love doing it, and it's a lot of fun, and I love going out to LA on a Monday and just having my week start out that way. Incidentally, I also wasn't able to work out most of last week, too, because I just felt like shit, and I didn't have time between work and being sick. So, long story short, I wasn't able to start really recovering and just like giving myself the rest I needed until Monday. And I'm still like, I don't know, like I don't feel sick until I start to exert myself, and then I'm like, oh, there's a little bit of sickness in there, you know? I don't feel sick until like I just hawk up a big fucking lung cookie. Not a fan of that phrase, but I don't know what else to call it. Loogie? That's even worse. Anyway, I hawk something up. So, as of this taping, it's Wednesday, August 5th. And it's just like still a little bit in there. I have a trip coming up to San Francisco. I hope to do some comedy there. It's a work trip for bartending. I don't know either, okay? I've never heard of people traveling or being called away from city to city to pour some drinks, you know? But that's what we're doing. I'm not really looking forward to it because we're traveling budget so that we don't spend all the money we make on just like being in San Francisco, because it's such a crazy expensive city. I don't even understand how people survive up there, which a lot of them don't. It's got a gigantic homeless population. Positive note, it's going to be a little bit cooler. It's going to be like under 70. I think it's going to be like actually kind of chilly, actually cold. And it's going to be kind of a little fucked up because I've now acclimated to this 90-degree weather here in Fullerton in LA and Orange County. And so I got to bring like a jacket and stuff and make sure I stay warm and don't get fucking sick again. But I hope to make some money. Just so you know, I am in my closet. Whenever I'm doing an audio episode, I'm typically in my closet. It's very well soundproofed. I feel very comfortable in here sitting on the ground, surrounded by mine and Ray Ray's clothes, mostly Ray Ray's clothes. She's not even a girly girl like that, but she just has a lot more clothes than me. I take up a little corner of this little walk-in closet, which is just big enough to necessitate a light. That's me talking about me. I don't really have any I don't have like any shows on the schedule coming up except for Weary Livers. Weary Livers last Saturday of the month. Looking forward to that. I'm really excited about the material I'm developing right now, but I'm just really like on my social media shit. I fucking hate the work part of it. Know that every peppy, just upbeat person that you see on YouTube, on social media, like that's like a few minutes out of all their effort. Like they spend all day just like corralling people, managing schedules, editing. Like it's tireless and kind of thankless fucking work. And it's weird because people like me, we want to pay attention to the art and really just hone and hammer away at this like and chisel away at this thing and make it perfect and beautiful and be able to just like show people a little bit at a time, you know. But we have to more and more take the garbage seriously. The garbage is the content, right? Because the content can't be too good because people might not like it, and then you spent all that fucking time doing something that people don't give a shit about. So you have to have this kind of like streamlined process, but it's work. So like I don't like it. I don't like it. Like there's nothing about it that brings. I like the editing process when I'm on something good, when I feel like I'm on something good, but sometimes I feel like I'm on something good and nobody gives a shit. It's so thankless. And I just like want to do this one thing, which is comedy or filmmaking. Oh, I would love to do that. But I would need to make a whole other investment. So I'm just trying to be like the way we're traveling to San Francisco on a budget, and I'm not looking forward to. I hope our sleeping accommodations are good. We're going to be staying in the Tenderloin. You know what I mean? Like it's a fucking rough and tumble part of town, a lot of homeless. Like it's the part of town where like fights might break out in the middle of the street type of stuff, you know? That's like that's the garbage that we have to pay attention to, you know? I think. I may have lost my point. I don't know. I'm by myself in a closet. But, yeah, we have to take the garbage seriously as opposed to doing the art. But I am... Okay, yeah, so I'm trying to be I'm trying to be as creative as I can with the small budget. And any little bit more money that I spend, I get more and more ideas. But you can't go too far in these ideas. Like, I really want to do this scene with Rose Darling. If you're paying attention, I mentioned Rose Darling. I did a podcast with her, and she's an adult performer, and I'd really love to do a scene with her. She's so beautiful and so kind of wonderful to be around. And that's better than some dead-eyed baddie. Lots of tattoos and everything like that. And I was thinking of, like, because she's so style conscious, I know she would have more fun on a stylistic set. And I'm totally prepared to do this thing just on my phone. And I feel like that would bum her out. So I feel like I do need to have, like, a conversation with her, like, on the phone, and just be like, look, you're going to get paid. I feel like that's what's really important to you. I would love to make it fun for you. And I'm looking for a style set. I'm looking for something that matches the way you dress and the way you bring yourself across. And I would love to have a professional photographer there to execute some ideas that I kind of had that I think she would be, like, really cool with. One of them, I hope that we're able to do it. One of them is kind of this, I don't know if you can follow me what I'm saying here, but you've seen these kind of, like, think of, like, the Miles Morales Spider-Man and how it changes animation style really quick, right? And there's, like, especially with the British punk rock Spider-Man, and he's always got, like, some newspaper around him and stuff like that. He's kind of like old school indie retro, kind of almost like 1980s, early 90s. So I wanted to have her kind of just do this very simple thing. I'm next to her, sort of well-dressed, and she's next to me, and I have her doing this really basic movement, wearing, like, 6 different costumes, and one of them is naked, And so she's got this thing that she does where she's smoking a cigarette, but it's bubbles, And so just, like, have her stand there, really indie, kind of like attitude, borderline dead-eyed, and just, like, blow bubbles in my face. And just, like, this very simple movement, but I have her in 6 different outfits so I can kind of, like, cut it together like it's smooth and she's wearing all and none of those outfits at the same time. I don't know if you follow me, but it sounds really cool in my head. It sounds really noir, and she's got a very noir aesthetic to her, and I'd love to do that. But that's a lot of trouble and some more money, and I can't be spending so much money on these things that might be fucking nothing, and also might ruin my reputation, which I kind of don't have. I don't have a reputation until it's ruined. I feel that. I don't really have a reputation out there until someone's like, Gino's fucking trash. And that's my brand, man. I don't know, man. I've always been trash. Since I was a small child, trash, dude. This motherfucker's trash. Gino trash. In a good way. Classy, trashy. Trashy, classy, bougie, baddie. Kind and sassy. Sort of assy. That's me, man. Let's see if there's anything else I want to talk about. I was sick. I'm working through sickness. I'm kind of almost better. I hope I don't get sick again. I'm going to San Francisco. One battle after another. Flock cameras. Ooh, do I even want to talk about that? Murder hornets. Yeah. Taco Bell and murder hornets. I did that. Oh, I feel like this is a more fun. First of all, the flock cameras. I just want to say real quick, as much as I was mentioning earlier, how much I hate that I talk about politics. I can't hang with any of my friends who take a side completely. Because if you think a politician gives a fuck about you, that's why it's hard for me to believe Kenneth Mejia and Councilman Rahman actually want to do their job, right? I want to believe they want to do their job. They're giving me proof that they want to do their job, so I'm believing them so far. But it's with such a fat grain of salt, Like, to believe that a fucking politician gives a shit about you, like, do you still believe in the fucking tooth fairy? Like, seriously, how are you still alive? That's my question to you. And I guess because you live in ignorance and it keeps you sane. So that's the answer to that question. But where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. I don't understand specifically conservatives, how they hate the government as much as they do. Okay, I understand that. I understand that part of it. I don't understand how they hate the government as much as they do, but they love the military, the police, and their politicians. That makes zero sense. Who do you believe that the government, who do you believe is the government? Who do you believe that if you distrust the government, then who do you believe that is? It seems like you love the government, but you like saying that you hate it. I don't understand where the fuck you're coming from. I've had this conversation with many conservatives, and it always gets really elusive. And then at some point, they start quoting Fox News at me or some shit like that. Or what they really do is they change the conversation. They just like change. What about immigration? I'm like, hey, we're not talking about that. That's a different thing. And I have a very nuanced opinion on that too. Also, very uninformed opinion. It's a little informed. But anyway, the flock cameras. There's a big controversy surrounding the flock cameras because the people manning them, the police officers manning the flock cameras, are stalking their ex-girlfriends because they're fucking creeps. And if you've ever known some hot women, you know that sometimes they get pulled over just so they can be hit on. I used to have a friend, I dated a girl. I dated two women. I dated a woman and her aunt. Okay. Because I'm trash. Remember when I mentioned that I was trash? Trashy, classy, bougie, baddie. Hot and sassy? I don't know if I'm hot. Anyway. I'm definitely warm. Okay. Fucking, her last name was Outlaw. Okay? Her last name was Outlaw. And so she had an outlaw tramp stamp on her back. And so we're just on the beach, and then like the beach cops come up and they're like, outlaw. And then like later when I dated her aunt, she's like, yeah, cops couldn't get enough of like, they look at my ID and they're like, outlaw. I'm like, okay, I don't like you. The problem is the girl that I dated, the younger one, she's like totally into it. She's like, yeah. I'm like, don't give them attention. They're not real people. They don't deserve that fucking, they're coming up and using their authority to, who else can come up and just like, outlaw. Anyway. It's annoying. But whatever. She's a dumb bitch, and that's why I didn't date her for very long. Her aunt was cool as fuck, though. But she also ended up being very toxic. Anyway, that's what happens when people get insecure. Sometimes. Some people. The flock cameras. Yeah, man. It's a big controversy because these people are just people. And they're fucking creeps. And they get into a position of authority because some of them might feel like they want to do the job well. Like they want to get into a position so they can do the job well, like it's supposed to be done. And some people, probably more people, I don't know, it's uninformed, but definitely in my experience from the attitude they exhibit, have a heavy insecurity that they're going to take out on the general population. And they just like actively be dickheads, like just like never using their signal when they turn, or just fucking like zooming through traffic with their fucking sirens on because they're trying to get to Taco Bell, you know, like just being assholes. I have this one story that I tell sometimes, and it's kind of proof that it was never illegal to do drugs and engage. I mean, drugs and prostitution are illegal, sort of, right? It's fun that's illegal. It's fun that's illegal. And here's what it is, okay? So I'm driving down past my school, and I see a guy get out of his car to threaten another driver. And it's a big white dude, and it's a little Asian dude. Very stereotypical. And he's just like, the guy and the big white dude is cussing the Asian dude he's outside the car, and he's punching the window, and you just get out of the fucking car. And right away I'm like, dude, if a cop was here, that guy would be. And then I look to my right, and there are some police officers watching the exchange, and they're like laughing, and they're like really having a good time. They might as well be popping popcorn. You know, they're just like entertained. This is TV to them. They're not concerned. And it's funny because I said out loud, I'm like, I bet if they were having a good time, like if they were drunk or something, they'd get arrested. And so we're driving the other way. It's like a half hour later, and there's a drunk guy. Admittedly, he is struggling to cross the street, but that's really all he's doing. He gets picked up by the same cops immediately. It was so insane. I'm like, okay, so violence, okay. Trying to medicate himself because his life sucks, not okay. Anyway, like, okay, I don't know if you've ever had to call the cops because you needed them, but good luck getting them. They will show up long after the danger is gone, long after. But if somebody calls the cops on your party, they are there in a minute. You know what I mean? It's like, oh God, I don't even want to invoke the idea of the tow truck, right? If you ever need a tow truck, it takes a long time to get there. But if you've ever parked in a spot you're not supposed to park, man, they are fucking on the scene. All right, I want to talk about something a little more fun to close out. We've already reached the half-hour mark, and I don't want to make you listen too much longer. I reward my loyal listeners with brevity, okay? Doctor Doom, or whatever, Avengers Doomsday is coming out. It promises to be a redemption of the garbage Marvel has been turning out. Really, Endgame should have been what it said. There's no reason to continue the same storyline. They got to start fresh after that because they got rid of some major important characters. The Guardians movie promised that Star-Lord would return. I don't think it's going to happen. The last one, part 3, whatever, the one that was really all about Rocket. Excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of my water. And it's just this thing of there's no original ideas, right? There's a live action Moana that came out. I haven't heard anybody talk about that. And it's not anything. I'm sure there's like a couple of original scenes, but like live action fucking Little Mermaid, live action Moana, live action every cartoon that ever existed that's going to make less money. And just like nobody's excited about, nobody asked for sure. You could make like Moana, like there could be a sequel or something in the universe of Moana, or like around, I'm sure that's based around some sort of folktale, folk legend, Hawaiian folk legend, because that's kind of what Disney has been good at, is sort of rehashing folk legends. That's really where they make their classics, you know? But why make the exact same fucking movie? If you know people are going to like Moana, then do a Moana. Don't do the Moana, you know? I'm sure there are other Moana stories. There's not just the one. Or other Hawaiian stories or something, you know what I mean? Like, just give them the budget they need. It's just this it's like what I was saying before about, like, paying attention to the garbage. Like, paying attention to detail in the garbage. So this is just, like, the most expensive garbage. They could have done the same thing, probably a shorter movie, same budget, and just made it like really great, you know? Anyway, there's no original ideas. We already know that. There are some original ideas. They just have a really hard time breaking through. I feel like to them, it's just really important that like young and new artists can't break through because they're too busy rehashing old shit. They're like, no, you can't have this $100 million because we're giving it to something that will not work. But some people will watch out of sheer curiosity. Or maybe someone who was a teenager back then has a kid now and they want to turn them on to this thing by virtue of it being new, even though it's actually old. Dude, I'm editing the footage from my last podcast, and I just can't get over how chill I am. Because it doesn't feel that way in my head. I'm just like, wow, man, I could be like ASMR the way I talk on camera. And like, we had a fun conversation. I felt like excited to be talking to her. And we're laughing amongst ourselves, but I'm like, dude, how chill. I just don't have, like when some people have no chill, I have no whatever the other is. Unless it's scary. You don't want to see that. Or unless I'm drunk. That's also fun. Fun Gino. Drunk Gino. Fun Gino. But yeah, so I'll probably watch it. I'll probably watch Marvel, Avengers, Doomsday, whatever. It's basically them trying to do, Endgame again. What was the one right before Endgame? I completely forgot just now. Dude, I can't even remember. I guess it doesn't even matter. Avengers, that's gonna bother me. But the one before Endgame, I feel like it's like they're going to try to have a sequel and all that stuff. And hey, don't you remember when the Avengers was cool? It's just like, hey, man, enough is enough. Like, you did like a 12 You did an over a decade story arc. It was magnanimous. It was fucking magnificent. Don't fucking ruin it. I'm probably never going to watch The Legend of the fucking 10 Rings or Golden Rings or whatever. I'm probably never going to watch, definitely not going to watch Morbius, not on purpose at least. Like, there's all these trash movies that they made that I'm never going to watch. I'll probably watch Guardians 3 again, but, like, that's pretty much it. Hey, guys. This is me signing off. I think I've talked to you enough. Let me see if I can leave you with something actually positive. So, I'm talking about how there's no new ideas and how Hollywood, blah, 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 this and that, rehashing old ideas, not letting new ideas through. It's not a new thing. We cannot be treating every problem as though they're brand new phenomena. They're as old as civilization itself, okay? If you go back to the classic Greek myths, they are rehashed over and over through generation with kind of like the brand new set of sensibilities, like all that, you know what I mean? Like the way they like fit a trans person into everything now, like, you know what I mean? Like everything's rehashed with the brand new sensibilities, and it's kind of telltale of the time when it was rehashed and with reverence to the time from which it came. And yeah, it's as old as like Greek mythology or folk tales, you know, after that. Or, I mean, Hollywood's been doing remakes since Hollywood was invented. They did remakes in the 1940s of movies that came out in the 1930s. I mean, since Hollywood was invented, they've been doing remakes. And like too soon, too. Right? Like they did Amazing Spider-Man like right after Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. You're like, dude, we just had a Spider-Man. That's insane. Like, we're doing another Spider-Man? We just had a Spider-Man. And then somehow, No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home made it really cool. And they just brought all the Spider-Mans in, and you felt really cool, and you felt like a sense of community, and they made it feel nostalgic. And that's a fucking original idea. You know what I mean? That's taking some old fucking beat up dumb shit and turning it into something like brand new and cool and warm and fuzzy, and making something cool out of something I never liked in the first place, which is I never liked Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I never watched Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I should give it a watch. I hear that it's good. I hear that if you like dark stuff, it's good, and I like dark, creepy stuff. Anyway, this is your dark, creepy motherfucker named Gino. I'm glad to be talking at you, to you, towards you. I'm glad to be keeping you company while you're washing your dishes, cleaning your living room, on the toilet, taking a drive, going for a walk, or just trying to keep the thoughts out of your head, man, because sometimes they're not telling us anything new and useful. Hey, I love you all. Take care of yourself, and stay tuned for new episodes. I hope to be doing really cool stuff on the pod next week. All right. I love you. Bye-bye.